A medical examiner discovered a strange object in a woman's lower body during an autopsy. It turned out to be not just one, but multiple fragments. As they pieced the shards together, everyone present was utterly shocked. It was a peach the size of a fist. This meant the killer had forcibly inserted the peach and then used something to crush it inside her. Tragically, this was not the first body the police had found. The killer's motive for using such a depraved method to brutalize women was to prove how incompetent the Korean police were. He specifically chose to strike during heavy rainstorms so that all evidence would be washed away. The killer tied the women's hands, tortured them, then stuffed pumice stones into their stockings and tightly bound them over their mouths. He then pulled their underwear over their heads. The state of the corpses was too horrific to describe. Soon after, Detective John received a report from villagers about a female body discovered in a rice paddy drainage ditch. The corpse had started to decay, and no useful evidence was found at the scene, having been washed clean by the heavy rain. John was at a loss on where to start investigating. Then more bad news arrived. Another woman had been brutally murdered nearby. Fortunately, this time, a footprint was found at the scene. John circled it for focused protection. However, he was even more shocked upon seeing the victim. Her method of death was identical to the previous one, with her limbs tied and underwear pulled over her head. But while John was examining the scene, a tractor suddenly approached on the road. John urgently yelled for the driver to stop, but he seemed not to hear and slowly drove right over the footprint, destroying the only piece of evidence. After returning home, John discussed the case with his wife and unexpectedly heard a crucial clue. She mentioned a developmentally disabled man named Mike, who was infatuated with that woman and always secretly followed her. John immediately considered Mike the prime suspect and arrested him. But no matter how much John interrogated him, Mike insisted he had never killed anyone. John came up with an idea to frame Mike as a scapegoat. The next morning, he brought one of Mike's shoes to the crime scene, pressed it over the original footprint, and photographed it as evidence of Mike being the perpetrator. This film is based on true events. The killer brutally murdered 14 women in total. Even after the movie was released, Korean police still hadn't caught the killer. It's said the murderer only turned himself in after watching this film. The movie is called Memories of Murder. I strongly recommend everyone watch the original film.